You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth.
Happy New Year.
Yep.
It's 2020, everyone.
Sure is. So we're still looking back at this past decade, and this time...
The teens are over. The teens are done. We're now in our 20s.
Mm-hmm. We're finally adults.
We're mature.
Sure.
We're nice rounded numbers.
I'm going to buy some beer.
Until 2021.
Damn. Yep. Can I smoke a cigarette?
Nope.
Damn. What the?
Don't even ask
2020 sucks.
Don't even ask about the vape.
Mom. Anyway. This time we're talking about TV shows, streaming, whatever you want to call it. Any kind of show like that.
Cereal.
Well, we'll do cereals another time.
So as the calendar turns, it's a good time of the year to look back, and especially as something as momentous as the change of a decade. You want to look back to where we've come from. Think about, where were you in 2010? How different was your life?
Oh boy.
Whew. Mine was basically the same.
Yeah, you were.
But yeah. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. So we're going to take a look back over the pop culture of that time. We've logged a lot of hours watching TV in the past 10 years, so hopefully some of it was worth it.
So we're going to come up with a collective top 10. You guys are going to listen to the sausage get made here. We got a different format this time.
Never done it this way,
No.
and Cliff and I have no idea how we're even supposed to do this.
I'm going to
terrified.
explain it, and you guys can ask any questions you want.
Okay.
You can act as the listeners here.
What in the good Lord is going on?
Nothing. Them just some fellas I play car pranks with.
The worst thing about prison was the Dementors.
Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die.
There are no strings on me.
So if you want to make more money and
Keep the money that you make.
better call Saul.
He looks like a panda and a Disney princess had a baby.
Somebody royally forked up. Somebody forked up.
Randall! Okay, see you, roof.
First, I thought you and the others were gods. Then I realized you're just men. And I know men.
You guys, look at my dirty girl.
Roll on snare drum. Curtain. Good joke.
What we're going to do, instead of doing our traditional, all three of our top 10s, we are just going to take turns nominating a show we would like to have in the collective top 10. And if we agree right then, boom, this has to be in the top 10. All three of us are like, for sure, boom, it's going in there.
Oh, so
Locked
we need
in.
to like throw some stuff
You
out
can have
there.
a strategy if you want.
Yeah.
But you got to keep in mind what you feel needs to definitely be on there. So however you want to do it. Because whatever we end up with, we end up with.
So once we fill up, it's full.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
I will call, trust me. We're
But
not going to just miss
I'm going to
something.
be hard. It'd be harder for me to vote early on because I'm thinking, well, we need to hold some spots.
We will lay these to the side. As they get named, if they don't go for sure if they don't have all three votes or they have two and the other person says, yeah, that really should be on there, it'll go on. But otherwise, it's going to go off to the side. And when we start getting towards the end of the list, we'll be like, okay, this is what we have off here. Let's fill it up. So there may, and we may even get to where we have a spot that maybe only one person feels strongly about it, but it's a collective list. And if it needs to be on there, it needs to be on there.
Okay.
So, also, the stipulations for what qualifies as a show, it has to have premiered in the teens.
Right.
It can't be something that's been on for 30 years and just and had a good decade or whatever. No, this is of this decade.
Again, a lot of websites and publications are doing their top whatever of the decade, and no one else is following this rule. So there are a lot of other top 10 lists or top 25 lists that aren't this strict.
Well, I mean, I would have Breaking Bad on there, but because it crosses over into this decade, but it's not of this decade.
Yeah, I gotta say, when you first said, what's your favorite TV of the last decade? The first things that jumped to my mind were The Office, Community, Parks and Rec, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All disqualified.
Nope, all disqualified.
Yep.
They had great, they started in the early, 2008 or 2000, it was late aughts. Yep, you're not going to find those on this list.
Right.
It had to start in 2010 or later.
So, kind of makes sense?
Sure.
I think we got it.
Full disclosure, first time Jordan and I have heard those rules, so.
Yeah. I've sent them a couple times to you. So we can, let's do the old rock, paper, scissors. See who's nominating first.
All right.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Ooh, we got us. Blow them scissors. Scissors is a winner at this table. So Jordan gets to nominate a show, and we'll see whether. But I like this. We're going to get to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's several leads I put on my list that I know aren't going to make the top 10, but I just wanted to mention them.
Absolutely.
There's some I'm sure will, some I have no idea.
So one show are you?
I broke them down, I don't know why, but between dramas, comedies, and genre.
Okay.
So like horror, sci-fi kind of thing. And I had a lot more comedy than I did drama. Because I think it's easier for me to admit, if it makes me laugh, I like it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
A drama show, like, where is Game of Thrones on your list 5 years ago versus where is it now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a drama has a lot more work to do.
Can I address something? This is another thing I meant to mention before we started, is there may be a show that started at the beginning of this decade and went the whole time. Game of Thrones is a good example. We're going to talk about it, I'm sure, at some point. That may have had some great seasons. It may have had some bad seasons. Didn't finish to please everyone.
Right.
But you are going to be judged on what happened in that decade. If there is a show that has only had, you have to have had at least a season by this podcast. So if you had a great first season and never did anything else, you're going to look pretty good. Okay, but you're going to be judged on what happened in that time frame. So,
Yeah, and I have a whole list here of things that are only one season long that I couldn't add to my list because, it just hasn't gone far enough for me yet.
It's all our own personal criteria.
So, I'm going to throw out a genre one right from the beginning. I'm going to say Black Mirror.
Mommy, where are you?
I'm 2,000 years old, and I remember when we used to open up the door and just let the kids be.
Sarah! Sarah! Sarah!
Hey, lady!
Sarah!
I found her!
Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Sarah will be part of our trial period. Response so far is just incredible. A sense of security, peace of mind. The stories we've been hearing, they are truly inspirational.
It's completely safe.
Sure it is, honey.
Black Mirror.
This is my top genre show of this decade. I like every episode. Everyone is like a short miniature little film. They all have different actors, different writers and directors. Charlie Booker does most of it, the writing. And it's the Twilight Zone of the modern era for me. British show to start with.
Twilight Zone's your favorite show. So
it is.
This is like that.
The modern equivalent. It started out on Channel 4 in Britain and has since moved to Netflix and has added some more American actors, bigger names. There's ones I like more than others, but I've never disliked an episode. And everyone has some kind of social commentary or something that makes me think, yeah, all right.
What do you think, Cliff, of Black Mirror?
I haven't not seen all that many episodes. I like Black Mirror. I always think, hey, I should sit and watch some episodes. But I never really seem to get around to it. And now that I've dropped Netflix for Disney Plus, I'm like, it's back burner stuff for me. But
that show will not be on Disney Plus.
No. But in terms of best show of the decade, it certainly has a case. I mean, it's original. It's
started in 2011, and they're still coming out.
Yeah,
sometime.
It's not like anything else out there right now to me, and I love the fact that if they don't have great stories, they don't make that episode. You know,
sure.
They really.
What's the name of that one?
The Choose Your Own Adventure.
I know that's not it. What is it?
Babadook.
No. Well, let's just not. I like what we're doing.
But it's the Choose Your Own Adventure type thing.
Yeah, I mean, it has some stumbling things. There are some episodes that I don't connect with. I love Black Mirror, but there are some, like, I did not like that Choose Your Own Adventure. But I like that they tried something.
And like I said, I haven't seen all that many episodes, so I've kind of picked and chose what I want to watch out of it. So
there are some that I've just recommended, like, oh, you have to see this episode, or you have to see that episode, and people just get swallowed up in it then.
And you can watch them in any order. You can watch however, what, you know. And it's very timely to me. It is telling stories about today and technology.
Yeah, it's trying to totally scare the heck out of you.
Yeah,
saying, this is how we're going to die this week.
How I know computers are ready.
Yeah, exactly. This is his Bible. So,
doesn't sound unanimous.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're gonna get a feel for what I could easily say put it right on the list, but if you guys want to wait and get our footing, we can let's lay it here in the very important show pile.
Oh, he's got cards, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh. Okay,
we got to keep track of this.
That's right.
So go, Cliff. Nominate something.
Okay, I'm gonna
working moms.
No, not working moms. I'm just gonna kind of go down my list a little bit here. First one.
Pick one.
I think is probably going to be a shoe-in for us. Netflix's Love.
So that'll be $2.35.
Dude, I don't have my wallet. Can I pay you back later?
This isn't a charity.
I'm good for it. I'll come right back.
Hey, you know what? I got this.
Okay.
And a pack of cigarettes?
Pack of smokes.
Parliaments. Hey, I have money. I can pay you back.
It's totally cool. It's on me.
Don't be a f***ing hero. I'm Mickey.
I'm Gus.
Follow me.
What do you do?
I'm a program manager at a radio station.
I could never date a coworker. What a bad idea.
Yeah, what a bad idea.
Maybe we should both quit. I'm joking. One of us quit. I'm kidding.
You know what's good for a hangover? Weed.
Fluids. Oh. You're really good at that.
You're like a 40-year-old, 12-year-old.
Okay, Cliff is nominating Love.
This has
had 3 seasons.
That was in my top 10.
Judd Apatow show that has Paul Rust and Jillian Jacobs. It's a wonderful cast. We've talked about it quite a bit over the years.
Summer.
I went through the whole front page of Google, clicking on best of lists today, and it was not on any of them.
Wow.
There was no Ka-Pow submission.
Yeah, we need to evangelize the show. I feel like we've talked about it a lot.
We have, and we talked about it. I remember I think Michael and I talking about it when it first came out.
I don't know.
Which was, a few years back.
2016.
And then we kind of brought it up more recently, again, as you watched
I was late to the game. I was like, guys, remember that show?
Just how great it was. And it's one of those shows that I'll go back and watch an episode or two every now and again. And I just love it. The story is, about this nerdy guy that he's a school teacher on a movie set, and he meets this kind of strung out mess of a woman that she has addiction problems, and the way they come together because he's not perfect either, but the way they work through it, they kind of they learn to balance each other out, and they learn, and both of them, they grow as people. It's wonderful.
Okay. And they're very tender to each other, and they're also horrible to each other.
Yeah.
I think I like how we described it. We described it as a very mature show, not meaning R-rated, although it is,
But emotionally mature.
It's a very mature take on relationships. You don't see in a lot of rom-coms.
Yeah.
Well, knowing the format, and knowing what to expect when we did this was the one show that I was 100% was going to be on our list.
Yeah.
I know we all three loved Love.
You have my vote.
So Love is on our list. So we only got 9 spaces left. It's time for my first nomination. I am going, let's see, I gotta have a strategy here. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this.
Of course you do.
Because I know there's 10 spots and I'm looking at it, I'm like, there's some that are just definitely gonna be on here. So there really is only 3 or 4 spots.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to nominate. I'm not gonna be crazy here. Let's just throw this out here. I'm going to nominate Better Call Saul.
Guys like you think you're so damn smart. You think you don't have to play straight with anybody. The wheel is going to turn. It always does.
Chuck bamboozled me. Again. It's your word against mine. Don't think I'll ever forget what happened here today. You will pay.
You need me. I'm not going to let you fight this on your own.
No! I will fix this. Myself. Me. Jimmy McGill.
You free for breakfast tomorrow? Who's got your back? Huh? Me. That's who. I'll keep that in mind. So, what's our next move?
I'm not unsympathetic to your sense of justice.
You destroyed our family for nothing! You happy now?
You got some real James Bond stuff in here. This car doesn't have an ejector seat, does it? I got a good feeling about this.
Here's my ride.
Also in my top 10.
I can't do Breaking Bad according to my rules, so I'm going to take the next best thing. Some would say just as good or better. A lot of people like this better. A spinoff we couldn't even picture what it was going to be, and it was something much better than I expected. It's like I said, it's a spinoff of Breaking Bad, and if you watched one, I'm sure you're watching the other. I'm very excited for the 5th season. I think it is getting ready to start. I think it definitely needs to be on our top 10.
I've never seen an episode of this show or its predecessor, so I have nothing to say about it. I mean,
he has nothing negative to say, but I've never
watched it. It's just.
But now, if Jordan were to say it definitely should be on there,
I get it. I'm not.
I think if two of us say definitely, it kind of has to be on.
I'm not unaware of the show. I realize the critical acclaim it gets.
You could filibuster. There's no rule.
Yeah, it's just.
I just don't know how many shows
are going to be in that same situation.
Are more of a sure thing.
Yeah, we said a million times, it had no rhyme or reason to be as good as it is. It took a very comedic character and has just given, Bob Odenkirk has given a performance of a lifetime, just unveiling layers to this guy. I worry though it's not over. It could nosedive.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah. So, looking back a decade from now, I hope it sticks the landing. And to me,
we're making a bet.
As long as it's like, I hated the last episode of Lost, so I can't believe I wasted every hour watching it. No, to me, if the ride is good, I'm with it. So it has already provided enough quality drama for me. So yeah, it's got my vote.
Okay, so no pushback.
Sure.
Okay. Jordan, it's your turn to nominate.
Oh no. The draft clock is on. Yeah. Do I throw out another obvious one, or do I try to sneak a wild?
That's up to you.
What do you do?
I'm gonna say my favorite sitcom of the decade.
I know what you're gonna say.
New Girl.
I knew that's what you're gonna say.
Everything changes tonight.
How's that wine and coffee combination treating you?
My heart is beating really fast, but time is moving really slow.
High five!
Remember this?
Let's just like us.
Like that. Talk about those skin tones.
It's over now.
No.
Ran on Fox from 2011 to 2018, so it lasted basically the whole decade. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't watch a ton of sitcoms this past decade. Going over my list, there's not a lot of must-see TV. Where the decades before, it would be those NBC Thursday night comedies, and there's less of that. There's less network on all of our lists, I'm sure. A lot of it is streaming or cable. So for a network primetime sitcom, to me, it's the top of the decade. It was, basically starred Zooey Deschanel was the, if you remember the marketing when it first came out, she's adorkable. And it just put all the focus on her and her three goofy roommates. Well, over the course of the series, they kind of found out what these guys are best at, gave them more quirks and more personality, and started pairing off different pairings. So we got a bigger supporting cast. Winston would hang out with Cece. It's like these two, the first couple seasons had no interactions whatsoever. And by the end, it's a classic Winston and Cece mess around. So it just, I love the characters. And
Jake Johnson, it discovered Jake Johnson.
Nick Miller is my sitcom, I don't want to say hero because he's terrible, but it's like, it's watching me up there. I love it. And all my fault. But yeah, I don't know, you guys don't seem to share my appreciation for it.
Oh, I watched the whole series until the last couple seasons. How many seasons were there? 7?
7, I believe. The last one was short. It was only like 8 episodes or something. And it took a weird time between seasons. Let's say it would go like a year without putting out new ones.
Yeah, I watched it for sure the first 5 seasons, every episode. And then it became what a lot of sitcoms become later on. Very, just the samey thing.
Yeah, it stopped even pretending that it was moving forward with plot. It just like, let's have these characters be goofy around each other. And I already liked the characters enough that I was on board for it.
Yeah, it's a show that I've seen a few episodes, but it was more of it came on after whatever, we were watching something before that on that channel, busy doing something, and it was on in the background.
Right.
From what I saw, I don't feel like I know enough about it. Yeah. I watched enough episodes that for me, I never felt like, hey, I need to sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
So
I'm in the middle. So we'll lay it here. It's not out. Still be voted on later when we got to fill in those final slots. So Cliff, you got a nomination for us?
Sure. Since my first one got thrown in, I'm gonna go out on a limb here a little bit. For some reason, I was like...
He's moving stuff around. He's really good in the wind-up.
I'm hoping that... I feel like I'm talking to the wrong audience here, but I'm hoping I strike a nerve with somebody here by just mentioning this. I don't really expect it to make it. But it's a newer show, and it makes me cringe.
We're all being vulnerable here, Cliff. We're all telling what
nobody's
our likes are.
Just us.
TLC's Dr. Pimple Popper.
This season on Dr. Pimple Popper.
I have bumps. Something is growing on the top.
It feels like somebody poured gasoline on me.
It rips apart at your soul. You almost want to give up. These nodules are occluding my breathing.
I have heard people screaming poop neck.
It really is pretty floppy.
They're incredibly painful. They cause headaches. I don't know what they are.
This is definitely one of the bigger ones we've done.
Hello?
Hi. Why are you crying? It's important to treat because it helps to treat your head.
I just wanted to say thank you for helping me with this.
Thank you. It's in your power to do this.
You've really changed my life.
I feel like today's the day that you lose this bump.
Thank you.
I've never seen anything like this. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Lord, we pray that you would help us this day. Thank you for Dr. Lee, for her skills. Amen.
Oh! On my arm.
Whoa.
It can be like a minefield. It can be like an unexploded bomb.
So close. Messiest lipoma ever.
Can we stop?
Yes. I was trying to come up with there's got to be a reality.
He's not
even writing it down.
Not writing it down.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Jordan, have you ever seen any of this?
I've seen it on. I've never watched it. Because
Okay.
I get that that's a phenomenon people are into.
It is. It really,
YouTube videos and such.
I wasn't aware.
It is not a phenomenon I have interest in. So I just skipped it.
It's... Oh, it's so...
There is a phenomenon that people like to watch. That's a very obvious. People for years, like you said, have went online to watch people pop pimples.
Right.
Whatever. But there's
did.
a phenomenon of things like that, or watching just someone pull out a splinter or an ingrown hair or things like that. It's just, I don't know. Something about that draws people in. They want to see that meticulous little thing being done. Fine, I get it.
But it's kind of as far as network television go, I don't know anything else.
It's so disgusting. like I can see
it is.
I can see watching somebody try to take a splinter out or something like that. But this gross, over the top, they show the most insane things.
They do.
People.
But here's the thing.
I can't believe we're talking about this.
Here's the thing, though, with this show. And I think this is why a lot of people watch it. It's not just that aspect of it. It's the doctor herself, Sandra. What is her name?
He thinks she's sexy.
No, but she.
Now they're doing feet. They're coming out with
a
foot show.
Yeah, Doctor.
I saw a bunch of ads for that. My feet are killing me.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
I haven't seen that. But
that's what we need. It's the same thing, only with feet.
But Dr. Sandra Lee, and really I think the reason why a lot of people like it is
Nobody
because
does it like Sandra Lee.
Is because she's helping people. They're coming to her with a problem, a very intimate problem that they, want to be rid of, or it hurts or whatever. Like, she's doing a real service. It is reality television.
Yeah.
And, a lot
I
of
get
people,
that. Some people have lived with some growth or something their whole lives.
Yeah, whatever. Or
and
for years.
And she is, going to take care of us.
Right.
I don't want to describe it. I watched a couple episodes because I was intrigued, and then I saw a couple things. I was like, I'm going to have a nightmare about that, so I'm done. It's very gross. And so if that's your thing, that's great. It is not going to be on the Ka-Pow top 10 shows.
If ever there was a Ka-Pow, take a big swing. That's right. A Ka-Pow worthy nomination, wow. Dr. Pimple Popper.
I can't see that show without thinking of the Seinfeld bit about the dermatologist. Doesn't he call her Dr. Pimple Popper? Skin cancer.
All right. Wow. Okay.
So we're not penciling that one in?
I'm not writing that down. I wish I could erase it from history.
Closed-minded.
That comment was right. That comment we got was right. The other guy is closed-minded.
I'm so thrown by that.
When we do these lists, I always try to come up with something that's so off the beaten track that it almost tracks a little bit.
Wow. Okay. I don't know. This will never make it. This is probably to you guys the equivalent of that, but you've never watched it, so I don't think you know. But there's that show that was on Netflix called American Vandal. Is not what you think it is.
It's just not the way I thought things were going to go. I was going to graduate high school, get my degree in engineering. I know I didn't do it.
It is a shocking scene for Hanover High teachers today. The vandals spray painted obscene images on 27 cars.
Oh my God.
I'll never understand what's so amusing about penises.
Everyone thinks I did it. Everyone. Dylan definitely did it.
Of course he did it.
He's like a known dick drawer.
Another day, another dick.
The evidence, it's overwhelming. I spoke to expel Dylan Maxwell for vandalizing the vehicles.
My name is Peter Maldonado, and
I'd believe there are legitimate arguments for Dylan's innocence.
Oh, I started to watch that way back when we were talking about it.
That was where it was the like parody, of a true crime show, and where a guy supposedly drew dicks all over the cars in the parking lot, and I don't know the guy's name that was the main character, but he was fantastic in the first season. There's been 2 seasons of it. It was canceled. People are fighting to try to bring it back on some format, but it was so well done, so well written and acted, and it turned into a very touching thing about trying to, prove his innocence, and even though he's such the obvious person that would have done it. Is a great show, and if you ever can get yourself to invest the time in it, it really is awesome. But I wouldn't expect it to be on our list.
And only lasted 2 seasons, and there was some griping that people wanted more.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There was a lot of
more story to tell.
A lot. They did an entirely different when it was such a big hit the first season. They decided, okay, the characters that played the documentary crew in the first one, well, they went to a different high school and found a new story and worked on that as part of their story. So they wanted to see, let's find the next thing. Anyway, I just wanted to mention it. I don't expect it to be anywhere near our list.
I never watched it.
I'm the only one that watched it. And let's put it like this. I'm the only one that watched it, so obviously we're not going to just put it on the list. And this is not the show that I'm the only one that watched that I want on our list.
You're going to fight for it.
There's something better than that.
It's just spoofing something I'm not a true crime person, so it's spoofing something I'm not a fan of, so I just didn't.
Which, anyway, listen to this. It's been a while since we did a regular episode, but you should take the time and watch the show on Netflix right now. It is the hottest true crime thing, and it's amazing, and it is called Don't F with Cats. And you absolutely should watch it. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen. It's great. Go on.
All right. So I feel like I should go out of left field too on this round. Everybody's pulling out.
Might as well.
When we do these kind of lists, I always try to think of something that's not just a drama or a sitcom, like a talk show, a variety show, a comedy show, something offbeat. And a lot of them have been around. Conan's been on. He's been on way before 2010, so I can't really go with him. So I went with Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Welcome to whatever this is. Our main story tonight concerns immigration, the system that brought you me. But it's still good, and I promise that won't happen again. Last month, some idiot paid $106 for possibly the largest Raisin Bran flakes in the world. And let me just say, that idiot is very happy with his purchase. And Utah even voted to legalize medical marijuana, which means that in the not-so-distant future, there is a genuine chance that Mitt Romney could be lying on a bed, stoned out of his mind, giggling and asking his wife, do you think we have, too many sons?
Weird.
I like that. Yeah,
HBO in 2014. Before I had HBO and watched the episodes, I would see it the next morning. It was always retweeted or somebody or went viral. Even if it's just a segment of the show. Just every week covers something interesting that you on the surface, why would that be important? And it's always something to get you angry or to spur you to think about the world around you. And it's always really funny.
It's so well written.
Yeah.
Wow.
And original. I mean, so many things from that show.
I didn't even think of it, and you're so right. I've never missed an episode. I love it. It amazes me what they accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
I said I missed fewer episodes of The Daily Show from the Craig Kilborn years. I watched it every night. I watched Craig Kilborn. I watched what's his face, Jon Stewart, whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart turned it into appointment viewing of just the news of the day. Just laying it on the line, hypocrisy, what's going on in the world. And I watched it basically every night. I thought of it as my release valve of a day of craziness in politics, which, Those are the odds. What was crazy about politics back then? But like, it was a half hour of me going, somebody else gets it. Somebody else thinks these people are idiots. And John Oliver picked up that torch and ran with it, and just has a HBO again. There's nothing. There's no censoring of it, and that he can do a lot more. A deeper dive, and he's not beholden to advertisers and sponsors. He can kind of go after people. So I think he can do a little more, and he can get deeper into the subject. So it's everything I love about the Daily Show, just sadly once a week.
So we all three love it.
I do love it.
Goes on the list then, right? Boom.
I'm okay with that.
We did it. That wasn't even on my radar, but you're so right. If you're right, you're right. Cliff.
Okay. Oh, how do I follow that?
I don't know, but you better start thinking about what you really want on this list, because there's shows that I thought were going to be on here that aren't.
Yeah.
But I like how this list is shaping up. I mean,
yeah. I want to talk a little HBO for a second.
Okay.
This is my wife's one of my wife's favorite shows, Big Little Lies.
Are you new to Monterey? Yeah, we just moved here. You're gonna love it.
Fashion is definitely not our problem. Every time someone asks me about Ziggy's dad, I'm terrified they're going to expose me.
We don't want anyone getting hurt, do we?
Bitch.
Gotta have each other's backs, right? Who's got yours?
These women, they're vicious.
We all do bad things sometimes.
2 seasons. Amazing cast. David E. Kelly. And it's... I kind of debated a little bit in my head, like, is this a full-blown TV series, or is it a mini-series?
It was originally just supposed to be a 1-season thing.
But then it was so good, they came back
that
for the
they
second.
created a second season. I did not watch the second season because I didn't have HBO at the time when it came out. And and then I never went back and watched it because it got raked over the coals for the final episode.
Well, number one, they added Meryl Streep, and she is unbelievable in this as this role.
Yeah, they raked her. I thought the first season was fantastic.
It was wonderful. I mean, the ending is just
it's perfect.
Yeah,
and I absolutely love the first season, but I've heard nothing good about the second season.
Actually, I thought the second season was. I thought it was right behind the first season. In fact, I think probably what turned people off maybe had been that last episode a little bit, but I mean, it is freaking intense. And Nicole Kidman, the way she ends up in a custody battle over the kids with her mother-in-law is that's season 2, basically, Meryl Streep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like this frenemy engagement. But she ends up being hauled into court, and what she pulls out at the end, I mean, it's almost as shocking as the end of season 1. It's great. I can't believe, I get it. They weren't even supposed to have a season 2, but I can't believe they quit on such a high note and said, "Well, we're done. We can't afford to bring the cast back or whatever." But I mean, it just kind of happened, and I saw a ton of female talk about this show, but not a lot of males watching the show with their wives, and I'm not sure why, because they should be.
Oh, it was great HBO. I love HBO, my favorite network. I think it was a fantastic show. First season was great. Like I said, I didn't hear great things about the second, but I believe you. But is it going to make our top 10, Cliff? Do you think it has a chance?
I honestly
thought... Is this the one you're going to fight for? Because I'll put it down. Otherwise, I'll make my nomination, even though I'm not really. But I want to talk about another show that I equate with this.
Mm-hmm.
True Detective. First season of True Detective is amazing.
Got critical acclaim.
It is so good. Matthew McConaughey had just filmed Dallas Buyers Club. He's just barely gaining back the weight. He has this leathery look. He's with Woody Harrelson. They both give amazing performances. It's just a perfect season of television. The second season, they go with Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn. It's not good. The third season, Mahershala Ali was in it. I didn't have HBO last year when that was on, and it did not get good reviews. Nobody cared about it.
No, they didn't, and I didn't watch it. I mean, I'd heard you talk about. Heard a lot of people talk about that first season, but then, like you said, it really dropped off after this. This show, season 2, definitely doesn't drop off. I mean, any way near that.
Yeah,
I really didn't think it dropped off. I mean, it felt like it picked up right where they left off in season 1, and
we'll lay it here and in the spot, Big Little Lies.
Yeah, I'm not
gonna fight for. If later you're like, hey, this is the one, I'm all in. I would be there to say, hey, I liked the first season.
So,
but you guys haven't watched True Detective. I'm not even going to put it in there. I loved the first season. I think Jared had put that he really liked the first season of True Detective, but I never hear anything about the other seasons as being anything.
It was a cultural phenomenon when season 1 came out. That's all anyone was talking about, and it's just sort of died.
So I don't think it is a show of the decade. Okay, Jordan.
Let's stick with HBO then, and 2 seasons of Westworld.
Do you know where you are?
I'm in a dream.
That's right, Dolores. You're in a dream. Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
Welcome to Westworld. No orientation. No guidebook. All our hosts are here for you.
In this world, you can be whoever you want.
Are you real?
Well, if you can't tell, does it matter?
This behavior, we're miles beyond a glitch here.
What are your drives?
To meet my maker.
I almost brought this up right now, so I'm glad you did. I'm not going to bury it here because I'm not going to preemptively bury it. If we could somehow get Westworld on the list, that's fantastic. But I don't know if I'm feeling it for our group. I don't know if everybody's in it for 2 seasons.
It was in my top 10.
Okay.
There's not.
I definitely.
It's in my top 10.
I like it.
It's in my top 10. I think it's a perfect first season of TV. Of a show. And I think the second season is crazy insane. It still has a ton of great stuff. I loved it. But I think a lot of people would say they were disappointed by the second season compared to the first.
And we've only seen teasers for season 3 so far, but it looks like it's going even further afield. So who knows where season 3 is going?
Yeah, I definitely love this show.
I didn't be a slam dunk over here.
I didn't write it down because I just figured he would automatically. That would be one of the first ones he brought.
There's
up.
only 10 spaces, but
that was the first show we like.
I agree.
No,
yeah,
I love it. I would gladly put it on the list if you guys are in, but I just didn't want to. It's our list. I want us all to agree when something should be on there. So, are you guys in agreement? Westworld should be on there.
What do we have in so far? Love,
Better Call Saul, and Last Week Tonight.
Oh gosh.
I just assumed that was a lock. So if it's not, I'm good.
Let's lay it in the middle.
No, we'll lay it here at the top tier here.
Yeah, because it's very, very close for me. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, Cliff, what do you got?
Okay. Let me throw one out here. Well, let's just talk about The Haunting of Hill House real quick.
Now I want you two to get good rest.
What if I have a bad dream?
Well, I'm sure we can handle any dream you have.
What if I dream that you sent us away into the dark and we get hurt? Really hurt? And what if I'm so sad and scared of the dark out there that I put poison in me for years and years until my blood turns into poison and my heart breaks? breaks right in half and I can't feel anything happy. So I can't stand it anymore and I have to die. And time on a silver table. Is my jaw wired shut? Would you wake us up from a dream like that?
That was a great show.
Great show, right? Well, only one season so far.
That's on my one season bubble list.
But it was a very good season.
So good. But just one short little season. It was hard to.
I think I went back and watched the whole thing twice. I watched it once through, and then I had to go back and watch it and try and find all the ghosts throughout the series and all that. And then it freaked me out even more because I didn't even notice them the first time. But yeah, I thought it was a great ensemble cast. It's a reboot, but they did something different with it in a lot of spots. An amazing set. I love how the time change stuff and how it interworked. Some pretty iconic, almost iconic, like Breakneck Lady and all that stuff. I mean, that's all that came out of there. Like, it's
good stuff.
Good stuff. Netflix.
Again, I think we're going to run into a one season thing where we're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have my take on this show is we all really liked it.
We did, yeah.
I think my problem is I think there are two shows that are one season that are both better than this.
Okay.
And we're already gonna be figuring out what we're doing about them.
Okay.
I
know one of them, but
I'm gonna lay them out.
I love this show though.
It's great. It's great. It's here. It's when we got to fill in at the end. We'll see.
If it's not top 10, man, it's definitely worth the conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
And Carla Gugino.
It's a can't miss. I don't know what we're doing here. It's all 10 space. Okay. Nomination. I'm gonna bring up a show. I don't think it's gonna make it, but I love it. Man Seeking Woman.
All right.
So we can be buddies.
Yeah.
Dude, you know she's seeing someone, right?
Who is he?
This guy Adolf.
His name is Adolf? Like Adolf Hitler?
Oh, cool, you know him.
I thought he died like years ago.
Nah, he faked that.
Oh, that's one. It's not my top 10, but I've got it in my list.
Yeah, it's not really in my top 10, but I thought it needed spoken. What was his name?
Simon Rich.
Yeah. This show, I felt like I found it myself. Like nobody's watching this.
Yeah,
people weren't really watching it, but Jay Baruchel and what's that guy's name? His friend.
Yeah.
He's in every meme.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
I don't know the show.
The Adult Swim.
Yeah, the guy with his hair's all sticking out everywhere. Doesn't matter.
TJ Miller.
Yes. No. Anyway, you describe it.
It's a relationship comedy about a guy who's not good with women, but it's absurd. So it takes, the first date jitters, or is the girl going to text me back, and it elevates them. It was
hyper.
So it was like the Pentagon War Room. It's like, sir, we sent a message 8 minutes ago. Like, we do not have a response yet. So it's like
I need to go back and watch this whole series.
I think it was a little shaky at the beginning. They didn't know quite far how to take it, and then by the last season, it just did whatever it wanted, and it went wild. So I think it was probably the middle
was the sweet
probably
spot.
The better.
You're right. Yeah.
But yeah, I found the book this was based on, a book of short stories at the dollar store, and it's the best dollar I've ever spent. It's wonderful little short stories. And a lot of them were adapted into the vignettes in this. So, it's a relationship comedy of the most absurd kind.
I love that show. Loved it. All right. What you got, Jordan?
Well, I thought Westworld was a slam dunk, so I'll try another slam dunk. Stranger Things.
Yep.
want to know the worst thing that's ever happened here in the 4 years I've been working here? It was when an owl attacked Eleanor Gillespie's head because it thought that her hair was a nest. Out of 100 times, kid goes missing. The kid is with a parent or a relative.
Well, what about the other time?
What?
You said 99 out of 100. What about the other time? The one.
I'm gonna write it on a card here.
That's I knew he would be the sticking point there.
The hang up.
The first season, 2016, everywhere.
Yeah,
iconic. Beyond reproach.
Everywhere.
It hasn't hit those heights yet. We've had 3 seasons so far. We don't know. It may not. Again, we don't know if it's stuck the landing yet. But just to me, let's say for our podcast and the things we enjoy, that 80s nostalgia, the nerd culture, horror, Steven Spielberg, Stephen King kind of stuff. Yeah, it's right up our alley.
Yeah, this is the most 80s thing I've had for a while. I love the kids. I love that, the time they've taken with it, and each year we get a new season. The kids are a little older and they have new, everything that comes with growing up, from that, they're just playing D&D and they're nerd kids to boys and girls stuff, and Russians. But yeah, I love it. It starts off, the first season is in 83, I think, and then it goes to 84 because that's the Ghostbusters year, and then
that's your year.
Yeah, and then 85 with the mall and all that, and the Russians. I love it. I think it's still one of the very top things on Netflix, just as a pop culture-y thing. I don't have any problems with it.
It's been diminishing returns for me, but I was so high on the first season that even diminishing returns I still enjoy it an awful lot. So yeah, I want to check in with these kids every year and see what they're doing.
Yeah, I knew you guys were both gonna really want this on the list. I'm not saying it can't be on the list. I'm saying it better be real important to you because I think it's just fine. I think I like the vibe, I like the 80s vibe, and I like it's a bunch of kids like just doing 80s movie stuff, doing 80s movie stuff.
They're all like goofy looking like actual kids.
Yeah. But it just I don't know, there's something intangible that isn't connecting with me.
But is there also not if we're looking back on the decade, like this was a show that helped launch how many Netflix subscriptions, or how important was this to streaming culture and takeover of streaming
careers here? Finn Wolfhard and
I can't stand that kid.
Millie Bobby
Brown.
I like Millie, but I don't care about that.
David Harbour. I mean, this is really, there was some talent found here, and then bringing faces from the past like Winona Ryder back and resurrecting her career.
Yeah, to me, the quality of it is almost beside the point. This, if we're just talking shows of the of the tens. Yeah, this is an iconic show.
This will be remembered from this decade. I agree. I don't think I'm going to throw it on there yet. May randomly here in the next couple rounds just say, hey, it's got to be on there. See what we say about some other shows.
Still 7 slots left here.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they'd fill up a little faster. We're a little more tentative.
We could tell you what. Let's do it. Stranger Things.
Don't you dare!
I'm putting it on there. You guys are that strong about it, and I watch it. I like it. I don't dislike it. So
yeah. But again, for our podcast,
I trust you guys, and I think that it is. It's such a big deal. It's a
show we cover very thoroughly. It's
it's important to our. We make a point when that comes out. We know that we have to watch it.
It definitely needs to be on there. Okay, we got there.
Well, another big swing here, but this is one I love this show. Best Marvel movie animated. Voltron, legendary defender.
All right, look alive, team. And there she blows.
Can anyone point out the mistakes these three made in the simulator?
The engineer puked in the main gearbox.
Sorry. We shouldn't be doing this.
You know, for someone in a space exploration program, you don't have much of a sense of adventure.
I've been scanning the system and picking up alien radio chatter. They keep repeating one word, Voltron.
It is time to reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Yes, soon we will rule the universe.
Guys, you should come see this. What is that? Whoa. Good kitty. You're the worst pilot ever! Where are we?
You five were brought here for a reason. Together, you will form Voltron. The greatest weapon ever known. Protector of the innocent. And our only hope to save the universe.
Jeez, no pressure.
You like it more or less than Big Little Lies?
More.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Okay. First season premiered June 10th, 2016. 13 episodes that first year. 76 episode commitment from Netflix. It went 8 seasons, and they did that wonderful thing Netflix does sometimes where they made the episodes there's no certain time length. They might be 30 minutes, they might be 15, they could be 45, they might be an hour and a half. They tell the story that needs to be told. This is the reboot classic Voltron, which was based on the anime series Beast King Go Lion from Japan. They took all the best things from Voltron in the 80s. And which, Voltron in the 80s, I loved the toy, the concept of it. The series itself probably wasn't that great. I went back and tried to watch some of it. I never even watched it. And this one, good. DreamWorks animation is a little different. I like that. At first I was kind of like, well, I don't know, it's a little too anime, but yet it's kind of 80s looking. Traditional cast, they bring back everybody from the old 84 Voltron original USA run, I guess you would call it. Science fiction universe, they find the lions, they become the paladins of Voltron. And it's this overarching story that goes through these 8 seasons of not just humans, but all kinds of alien races that must come together because, they've been oppressed by this evil empire of the Galra. And it's just, I know you guys haven't watched it.
Nope.
Believe me, it's just as far as I know, I love animation and I love classic 80s animation, but Netflix has done a wonderful thing with bringing some of this stuff back because when they do it, they make sure they do it right. And it's created a whole new fan base with not just little kids, but it's got mature themes, a lot of positive things that need to be put out there today, not just in movies or in TV drama or your more adult things, but this is, to have strong women characters and gay and lesbian characters, and they're real people, and the whole thing, I don't know, it's a wonderful series. I write it till the end. If I don't really honestly expect you guys to put it on the list, but if you have not watched it, go back, take the time. You won't regret it.
I bet I will.
I don't think you will.
I just didn't have the nostalgia.
I have
for
no
it
nostalgia for it
to get me to it. Like if there's nothing.
There's so much on TV.
Yeah, it's just
but
hard.
I get it though. I totally get it. I've seen the animation.
Yeah.
It looks cool. If I could totally see like,
it's not just
my vibe, and it's got a great deeper story than it appears to have.
It's not just a rework of what Voltron was, because what Voltron was, well, we're going to take 3 series from Japan and try and redub them like they did, and try and make a story out of that and cut, more adult things out of it. Well, we've put some of that stuff back in, and yeah, we've based it off that story, but it just goes, it's funny, it's heartbreaking, there's a lot of emotional depth to the relationship, the characters. It's just great.
Okay, it's in the pile there for later if you get desperate at the end here. I feel like we're at a point we need to be just putting Westworld on here. I feel like it's rising to the top as far as like you said, we spent so much time on it. We even convinced Jordan to start watching it, and he actually liked it.
That's right, because you weren't watching it when we first.
I didn't even show up to the when you.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's the only time I've ever skipped
back in the bunker.
Yeah.
Did you guys like the second season?
I was the weird outlier.
You liked the second better. I remember you saying
more.
That.
Yeah, he liked it better
because hanging around you guys, I knew a lot of the twists and turns of the first season, so it wasn't that puzzle I was trying to crack. I already kind of knew what had happened.
Right.
So I liked the second season, expanding the world and getting out and doing more with it.
And Maeve is one of the best characters in so long. The more I think about it, I feel like if we have Stranger Things on there, we should have Westworld on.
How many do we have so far?
That'll be number 5.
5.
Okay, I'm getting some pushback here, so we'll see.
Okay. Whose turn?
Mine.
Okay.
I'm going to there's so many shows I could bring up. I'm going to go ahead and say the one that of the shows that I watch you guys don't watch.
Okay.
Because I'm going to list a few of them here and just end up where The Leftovers was fantastic.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, for those who want to, let us pray for mercy and forgiveness and the return of those who have left us.
As to the instantaneous disappearance of 2% of the world's population, your conclusion as to what happened, some 140 million souls, is, I don't know.
No matter what we suffered, we are still alive.
It's gonna be okay.
How's it gonna be okay?
Please come home. Please come home.
She's not coming back. None of them are.
It wasn't the rapture! They were no better than us!
What you're doing is not making things better. We want them to remember something they want to forget.
They are trying to provoke us.
I watched the first season.
Oh, yeah.
Just over this holiday break.
It gets better.
I'm going back to it. I've heard it. It ends strong.
What else did you see? Mindhunter. I don't think any of you guys watched Mindhunter on Netflix. It's had 2 seasons. It's where the FBI developed about the guys that developed the idea of serial killers and profiling like that. Knowing what to expect from them. Very good. Incredible. Succession has had 2 seasons that were both fantastic. I love that. You kind of watched a little of it.
Yeah, I just couldn't get into it.
It's great. Kieran Culkin, and everybody's great in it. That's. I love that show, and I think it's only going to get better. But the one that this show to me kind of defines what a show should be, though, for the teens. Started in the teens, it ended in the teens, and it was great the whole time. I know you didn't watch it, but The Americans.
Stop.
Counterintelligence is the place you want to be right now. We're up against the most sophisticated enemy in the world.
You're my wife.
Is that right?
Super secret spies living next door. They look like us. They speak better English than we do. They're not allowed to say a single word in Russian once they get here.
And you make any noise, I will kill you.
President Reagan is outraged that the KGB thinks it can kidnap someone with impunity on American soil.
Our war is not so cold anymore, Elizabeth.
It's probably a coincidence.
Or they're onto us.
And this is what? We take those risks every day, Philip. That's what we do.
Car won't start. You have to take the bus to the metro.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
Mary got 2 goals and assists last night versus LA.
Did they win?
The Americans.
I loved it. Kerry Russell was fantastic in it. They play a family of Russian spies in America in the 80s, and they are embedded doing missions for the Russians. They live next door or across the street from an FBI agent, and they're friends with him. So he's constantly in and out of their house, has dinner with them, and he's always Noah Emmerich, I think. He's been in everything. I won't try it, but he's in The Americans. Anyway, just Matthew Rhys plays Kerry Russell's husband, but they have kids. They play as a family, and actually have kids together, and it's how they deal with that. Their kids don't know their parents are Russian spies, and where that goes. Anyway, it's great from beginning to end. It's very well done. I love it, and I think it's one of the best shows of the decade.
Yeah, this was on every critic top 10 list every year. It was on a lot of the
I saw it on
best
some
of lists.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another one of those, like, I just keep being reminded there's so much good TV I need to get to, and it's one I just never got to.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about that is it's a period piece, so it's never going to not be timely. It's always going to have been set in the 80s. So, and it's Kerry Russell just killing it as a Russian spy. What more do you want?
Yeah, speaking of The Leftovers, it was number 1 on more lists, like a plurality of the lists I looked at today. Leftovers was the number 1 show of the decade.
That's great.
So
I watched some of the first season and then quit watching. And then when the second season came out, it was getting such good reviews. I went back and caught up, and I just really enjoyed it and really enjoyed listening to people talk about it. And it's just it has a lot of deep thoughts to it. So I
liked the first season, but it wasn't super there for me.
Yeah.
And I remember the only thing I know from this show is Carrie Coon. She's not in the first season a whole lot. She's not the main star. No. So we're gonna get more Carrie Coon.
He's great too.
So I'm excited. Although I do like they lampshade a little bit. They call him the hot cop or whatever. Yeah. There's no small town cop that looks like Justin Theroux.
No. Okay, so Jordan. I know what you're going to nominate. I don't even look at your list. I know what you're going to
throw. So I'm completely in left field then.
Really?
No, I don't know.
I know what you're going to say.
I feel like we're like halfway down the list. So I better say my favorite of the decade. I can't read that.
Well, then that's not it.
Oh, okay. It's my number 2 of the decade.
Oh, okay.
My number 1 of the decade just squeaked into this list. It started in 2010. Went to 2015. Justified. On FX.
Tornado weather? Sky turns green.
Hey, Marshal.
Right there's good. You know something's coming. One down.
I'm gonna get to heaven. I'm gonna catch 7. I'm gonna get to heaven, alright. I got the number 1 gunfighter watching my back.
Watching every part of you. In the words of St. Francis, it is only by forgiving we ourselves are forgiven.
You gonna bet your life on that?
Next time I see you, I kill you.
Isn't that the line you used to Tommy Bucks?
How'd that work out for him?
You're a little old to be fighting, aren't you?
Certainly too old to be losing. Don't you even think about running. Only about one thing left for you to do.
What is it?
Pray.
Based on the Elmore Leonard character, Raylan Givens, Timothy Oliphant, just cowboy leading man, just had the look and the swagger to him. Introduced me, at least, maybe not the world, but to Walton Goggins as Boyd Crowder, the criminal that they're up against. And it's just set in Harlan County, Kentucky. Again, we're talking about a more rural setting, and you don't see it. Most crime stories, it's L.A. or New York, but it was just fascinating to me to watch. They call it the Dixie Mafia. It's the Southern drug runners and the criminals from the Appalachians, and it's just it's an unexpected look at crime in our part of the world. So I loved every season of this. The writing was wonderful. It had some good standalone episodes, but each season had a good arc to it. The second season is still my favorite season of anything ever. So yeah, I don't know where you guys are on this, but it's my.
I watched the whole thing. I thought the second season is by far the best, and I watched the rest of it, but there's something about it that doesn't click with me. I kept watching, but I just didn't have that feeling about it that so many people do. I mean, so many people love Justified, but I just felt like it was. Again, when you name the pieces of it, I love Walton Goggins is amazing in it. That he was discovered on that show, but
and it just captures the Elmore Leonard thing better than his work has been adapted. The original 310 to Yuma is based on a short story. Jackie Brown's based on one of his books. Just tons Out of Sight. Just tons of movies, but very few of them capture exactly what he does on the page with the dialogue and the characters. I from a writing standpoint, it nailed it perfectly.
Yeah,
for me.
It's that second season that sticks out so much. Just what they did with the young girl. What's
Caitlin Deaver?
Yeah, with her and
Mags Bennett.
Yes, when just the way that all culminated.
Margot Martin.
Yeah, way that all culminates at the end of that season. It's like, wow, it's just a really perfect season. I just don't think it. I think it suffers that there's so many seasons after it that don't live up to that.
And each one was a little bit less than the one before. Yeah.
Did you even watch it?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to make top 10.
Right now, but
it's mine.
Here's one I feel like if you got to fight for your one pick at the end, that sure would be it. I would think. Cliff, you got 4 on there.
Well, if there are 4 pillars that this podcast is built on,
I was waiting. I was like, I'm not bringing it up.
One of those pillars is Riverdale.
Oh, the second hand is frozen. No.
Oh my God.
Every corpse has a tale to tell, and this one has the touch of evil.
Archie, our kid is dead. I saw you guys.
How you feel about me? Is it real?
I'm asking you right now if you love me.
Who are you lying to?
I'm breakfast at Tiffany's, but this place is strictly in cold blood. This should be fun.
Did you and Donnie Darko kill them together?
Nothing this bad was ever supposed to happen here.
Maybe there's another side to the story.
There's a possibility Jason's murderer will soon be in this room.
This whole car is a crime scene. No fingerprints.
You're a little more dangerous than you look.
And I was surprised to see when I looked on a couple lists. Lo and behold, Riverdale was on there.
I saw it pop up a few times. I did not know what category to put it under. Is it a drama? Is it a comedy? Is it genre?
It's everything.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked, we have episode on episode.
No other show on this list has brought me as much joy as Riverdale.
I totally agree.
But I don't know if it's in my top 10.
Not in my top 10. But I don't know how it's not on our list.
I don't either. That's what I say. I mean, if there's a pillar for this podcast to be built on, it's Riverdale. It's been consistently one of our favorite things. I when it comes down to just enjoying television, like I get hyped up, like I gotta watch some Riverdale. Like it's so ridiculously silly.
That's true. It's one of the few shows. Like I'm in a hurry to get home and watch Riverdale.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
And most of anything else you can DVR, watch it later, stream it later. Like I want to watch it when it premieres. Mainly because you'll be texting us gifts from it or something.
I never do that. I don't have it, so I dread watching it because I have to watch it on my phone.
Well, you can get CW app on your TV.
I don't have an antenna or whatever.
No, just the app. Do you have like a smart TV or Roku or anything? PlayStation
probably has a CW app.
Yeah. But it's Riverdale. It's this thing that happened to us.
You can't take screenshots.
Can't take screenshots.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's this thing that happened to us that I don't think we were ready for.
I remember watching that first one. Like, well, let's see what it's about, and then like, am I going to keep watching this show?
So you guys are for sure this has to be on the list.
I think it has to.
It has to for me.
I'm not going to try to say anything. Let's just do it. It's on there.
We have devoted more hours and minutes to that than anything
I've devoted a lot of hours to Westworld.
True. That's true, but I don't think we've talked as many hours as I
believe that.
4 seasons.
I don't want to fight for Westworld. Yeah. It either deserves to be on there or not because I shouldn't have.
I just kind of want to go through the list and then see what else. Sticks.
I guess I'll say something. Let's see. I said that. I mean, I just know these aren't going to be on there. Okay. I'm going to just address the 1 year thing. What are we doing about the 2 1 year shows?
Yeah.
Watchmen,
I have them both.
Watchmen and The Mandalorian.
It's tough.
They both were in that decade. Granted, it was the last year, and they were the real problem we have is Watchmen. We know there's going to be more Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. We're not 100% there's going to be more Watchmen.
And was it?
So we had to talk about them.
Was it one of the best things of the decade?
Were those two? Was Watchmen one of the best things of the decade? Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That I have Mandalorian under my one season wonder category, and I've got Watchmen on my list. So, Watchmen. From out of nowhere, of zero expectations, I was hyped for The Mandalorian. I was really wanting to see what they did with it. But Watchmen, for a stretch of 4 or 5 episodes, are some of the best single episodes of anything this decade. Squeezed in just under the wire. So, that would be a tough call for me to say one season, but I was blown away by what they accomplished. So, if we want to say Watchmen, I'll 100% back it. But I can also see saying, well, let's give it some time.
Yeah.
It won't qualify for our next decade.
It won't qualify.
That's what I'm saying. If there is only one season, this is its only chance to make our list. And I think it's like sitting there biting his fingernails right now.
Nah, they'll bring in Zack Snyder to do the second season and it'll go downhill. So.
And what about The Mandalorian?
I mean, honestly, I'm okay with both of these. I mean, when it comes down to it, I know they're just one season.
It just feels so... We have no perspective. It irritates me, like, literally, they were ended in December of the last year of this decade. You know, it's like so...
But you remember when we first heard, they're going to do a live-action Star Wars TV show. They've been talking about that for years.
Yeah.
And
decades.
What did we expect? We could not have expected something this good, this well made, this fan appreciated. Like it's universally beloved. There's every Star Wars for the last 30 years has had arguments.
You were one side or the other.
No one's arguing this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we suddenly don't have enough spaces. No one has even. We mentioned but never returned to a show that I thought was a sure thing. Because you tried to get fancy on us, Cliff. You haven't even brought it up yet.
I still got more on here.
Because I would be like, oh, we put both those on there, and then we each get one choice, and then we're not going to have everything that should be on there. So we're going to lay them out here.
It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Nobody ever said podcasting was easy.
I like this format, by the way.
You need a yarn wall.
We really do. We don't do that enough. We got a wall. I got yarn. I have yarn on that wall.
Who's up?
And I'll do it again, damn it. Okay, who is up? I brought those up, I think. So what do you got, Jordan? I know what you're going to bring up now.
All right, you thought I was going to bring it up last time, so I better bring it up. Fargo.
What a day. If that was me, I would have killed that man. If you don't stand up to the boss, the wife, you're just gonna get washed away.
You okay there, Bill?
Wife made spaghetti for dinner. Seemed ashamed to barf it up.
Gambling problem, I heard.
You don't say.
I heard drugs.
I heard he slept with a 13.
For Pete's sake, Bob, don't spread rumors. No, it was gambling.
I'm glad my husband's dead. I'm gonna sing at his funeral. La 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 la.
It's a bit strange, huh?
You think this could be like an organized crime thing?
Give me the money.
Oh, I'm sorry. Scrunion?
I didn't do nothing. I just got home.
Fargo, an FX original
3
series.
terrific seasons of. They're all different. They're all different cast, different setting, different eras. Just this is the Coen brothers brought to the small screen. They're not involved at all, but it captured everything about them: the quirkiness, the characters, the small town flavor, the oddness. It might not be on your wavelength, but to me, it was right there for me. So the first season was phenomenal. I loved Billy Bob Thornton. A lot of people like the second season even better. It was close for me. Third season was excellent. I'd like to rewatch it, give it another shake, but 4 seasons on the way.
There are so many shows that we have not talked about. It's crazy.
Hey, you're the one that wanted to do it this way.
I was referring back to our list of favorite current streaming shows in May of 2017.
Oh, this is interesting.
Jordan had Fargo at number 1, and I had it at number 3. So, kind of feels like we really liked it. I don't remember. I remember liking every season.
It just comes and goes.
Yeah,
when it's on,
been so long.
That's all I'm thinking about. But it takes forever between episodes. You kind of forget about it. But
I loved the first 2 seasons for sure. I think the last one was on Scoot McNairy and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, right?
It feels like a lot of these cards we've laid out, thinking we'd get back to them, are not going to make.
That's what I mean. Now I'm like, oh, how's Big Little Lies looking? And it's never going to make it.
But again, it's hard. Like if it's something Cliff's not watched, and it's hard to be unanimous with it.
Well, I kind of looked at. I felt like we were going to have to be. If 2 people felt strongly about it, it's got to be on the list. 3 for sure, but 2 strong, and somebody didn't watch it. If somebody hated it, that'd be different. Yeah. That would have some weight against it. But somebody didn't watch it. That's why. But so I'm just like, Stranger Things. You guys love it, and I think it's fine. It's got to be on the list. But there's some stuff here. When did Walking Dead come out?
2010.
Yeah, it's on. I've got it. Yeah,
I can't believe that.
I kept waiting on somebody to bring it up.
That could be the show of the decade. I mean, that
it really
as far
could.
As genre TV.
Yeah.
That show owned cable TV for a long time.
Yeah, I don't like it. Love the comic.
All right, the whole system's breaking down.
Yeah,
we're just like,
Sorry.
what about this show? I don't know.
I'll write that down. I'll put it out here. I'm sorry.
It's at the very bottom of my genre list. I just thought it needed to be mentioned. If I didn't think it would make.
I didn't even have it on my radar, but then I thought, hey, maybe it came out this.
I'm going to throw one out there that we haven't talked about, and I'm not sure. Honestly don't remember if you guys have watched this, and unfortunately,
you're still not going to say that show. Go on.
Unfortunately, at this point, the star is icky at best, but Master of None.
Buongiorno, c'è una bellissima donna di sotto, dice che è qui per te.
Davvero?
È qui sotto, è arrivata.
Va bene.
Bene.
Dishonor, Captain!
Arnold! What are you doing here? I thought you were coming in the afternoon.
Well, I took an earlier flight. I wanted to surprise you, bud.
Wait, my landlord said there's a beautiful woman downstairs.
I told him to stay there. Tall boys. It's an app for girls that want to date big boys like me. I'm cleaning up. I'm way bigger than most of the guys on there. Check out my profile pic.
Hey, don't put me in your tall boy's profile.
Come on, Dev. Big Bud needs Little Bud for perspective. You make me look huge.
All right, but if they make a Little Boys app, I'm using that same pic. Then again, probably should get on an app called Little Boys.
From Netflix was just as a show.
It is the most here. It is the most pleasant show.
It really is. Like, I really love that show.
Will you just make some pasta?
Yeah, right. It's
I like saying that because I know anybody that hasn't seen the show is just gonna be like, what?
But
just Aziz Ansari, just learn how to make pasta.
Yeah.
That was like the next show I was going to watch, but I canceled Netflix right before I got to it.
Yeah.
So I want to see it, but
it is. I will use a Cliff adjective. It's wonderful.
It really is.
Well, I'll throw out Louie from FX if we want to talk about icky protagonists. we have canceled.
I haven't heard of that
Louie,
for a long
but.
time.
Well, at least Aziz seems to realize what he's done wrong.
From 2010 to 2015, I don't know. There was a better show on TV than Louie. It was masterfully done.
It came out in 2010. You are killing me.
Yeah. But it's been wiped from existence because he's bad.
Still gonna write it down.
We're out of cards.
Oh no!
I didn't even remember these shows were out. We got cards everywhere. Wow. Okay. You said that. You said Master of None. You said Louis. I'm going to jump in the middle here.
I was just tagging on his.
No, you said Louis.
Let me throw another one out.
I'm going to say one. I feel like this has to be on our list. Okay. Game of Thrones.
Oh, my sweet summer child. What do you know about fear? Thousands of years ago, there came a night that lasted a generation. In that darkness, the White Walkers came for the first time. They swept through cities and kingdoms, riding their dead horses, hunting with their packs of pale spiders.
I saw the White Walkers.
You understand why I did it?
John said he was a deserter.
The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
17 years ago, you rode off with Robert Baratheon. You came back a year later with another woman's son.
Lord Eddard Stark, I would name you the Hand of the King. There's a war coming, Ned. I don't know when, I don't know who we'll be fighting, but it's coming.
Yeah, I've got it down.
I mean, you refuse to say it. You're going to make me say it, but no matter how...
Where do you guys sit on this final season?
Like, I don't think it hit with the impact it could have. I did not dislike.
I didn't like the season as a whole. Like, there are some pretty great episodes in there. The beginning of the season I loved immensely. I thought, man, we are really building to something great here. I think it was just that last episode more than anything that people were just like, oh my gosh.
This show you guys devoted hours to, pouring over it, loving it. It brought you so much joy. And it ended like you didn't want it to, and people are just wasted my time.
Yeah,
done with it.
Ridiculous.
That hurts me somehow. Like, no, I get, this is the danger of naming your kids after characters and getting tattoos of your favorite character before the show's over.
Right.
There might be twists and turns that you don't want, but to enjoy a show, it didn't end where I wanted it to.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's not my favorite season. There are weak seasons, but is so many great moments. It was event television
for
every
years.
Every week, it created the whole idea of reaction videos. It was so great.
It was a water cooler show when there aren't that many of those anymore. The next day, it was that's what was going on.
It was beyond a water cooler show because it was so intricate. Going back and watching
had to
episode,
watch it again.
Yes.
To understand what was happening, really.
Just to understand the immense amount of characters. And they're all important.
Yeah.
It was just... you want to talk about shows of the decade. I knew...
in the fact that it went all those years and they're all in that decade. And for the most part, the show is great.
It's a show that's spared no expense. They did everything the way it should be done.
And they had to finish the story without
the story being
without the story being written.
But it's not even people are disappointed. They hate these guys.
Yeah. I think that's just
I think this is where the Ka-Pow list comes in. Cliff and I neither one feel that way. We overall have a positive feeling about the show. I enjoyed it. I talk about it to people at work that are, we always have talked about it each week, and it's just I love it. I think it has to be on our list.
I abstain, but I kind of assumed it. I assumed it would be.
Yeah, I think it has to.
Okay. All right, we have 6 on there. What else needs to be nominated?
Let me see if I got anything else.
Well, the last one in my top 10. Mm-hmm. These are the 10 that I would have called best of the decade. I had Key and Peele from Comedy Central. 2012 to 2015, the best sketch comedy of the decade for me. Just hilarious stuff, very topical, very of its time, and super viral. They put out stuff.
It was always just YouTube videos.
Yeah. I don't know how many people even watched the show. Right. They just saw the clips on YouTube. So
it has never done anything for me.
Yeah, I never really got into it either. I didn't click on those videos.
I've watched a bunch of them, and even people I work with, they're like, "Oh, you got to watch this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I've seen it. I don't care." Wow. I don't know. I'm not trying to I know it was immensely popular,
but to me, they added they would do bits that were a musical, and it looked like a musical, the set dressing and everything. They do horror movie, and it would look great. They put effort into the comedy. The details were amazing, and those two guys crack me up no matter what they're doing. So.
Right.
I'm just going to throw a couple out here because that's about all I have left. Together. I don't expect them to make the list, but talk about one season wonders here so far. Doom Patrol, DC Universe. This is one of the Watchmen, The Mandalorian, and Doom Patrol in the last 6 months or whatever have been the best thing I have seen for some time. It is crazy. It is wild. It is everything a comic book show should be. Wonderful cast. I love the casting. It was so... I didn't expect this to be good. In fact, I really kind of expected it to be horrible. I like Doom Patrol the comic. I think the characters are quirky and strange and such a needed thing in the DC universe. In this show, Alan Tudyk was one of the best villains. He's just great in everything he does. But such an original villain for a television show, Mr. Nobody. It was insanity on my television every week. I love it. The other thing I want to throw out real quick is Netflix's Luke Cage. I just love that show. I think both seasons were so solid. Mike Coulter is Luke Cage to me now. I like the bad guys. I love the world. Harlem what a neat setting for a modern day superhero. So I didn't really know much about Luke Cage going into it, and I come out loving it. So out of that, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, they were all good to me. This was kind of my favorite.
Yeah, I had Daredevil on my list just to kind of stand in for all the Netflix shows. That was my favorite of the bunch, but they were all basically the same kind of quality, and I liked them all. Some other comic book shows, Agent Carter on ABC.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Was gone before its time, but I thought it was very strong, what we got of it. Legion on FX. 3 seasons of the most bonkers show. I can't even explain what the plot was. We don't have the time. But it was one of the most inventive shows I've ever seen, if not my favorite. And I haven't heard DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I didn't write it down. I was hoping maybe you would mention it. just because out of those shows, it's my favorite. It's strange and odd and hilarious, and it doesn't take itself too seriously.
It took me, I don't know if the show got better or I just got more in tune with it. Maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, this is the one I look forward to the most on CW especially.
Yeah.
So,
anything else?
I got several more. All right, the rest of my genre list, I added the
Rick and Morty. We never mentioned.
Oh, Rick and Morty's on the list. Yeah, I enjoy them.
I like it. I liked it better earlier on. This newer season didn't do a lot for me.
I had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series from 2012 to 2017.
The Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, that's the first show I woke up on weekends to watch. Like, I set my alarm to get up and watch a Nickelodeon show, which was weird. Like, I hadn't done that in a long time, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And I had Ash vs. Evil Dead from the Starz Network. Again, we've done a lot of talk of like shows that don't even need to exist, but they just pulled it off. It had the fun, Bruce Campbell slapstick gore and humor, and translated it very well to the small screen. So if you like the Evil Dead movies or that character at all, this should be up your alley.
Jinx was a HBO limited series just about that true crime thing, which is one of the most amazing ones ever. There was The Making a Murderer on Netflix. It's been 2 seasons. It's great. It's like, I know you're not a true crime guy, but it's just like these things are phenomenal. You'll see on Facebook all the time when one of these come out. And it's just these endless series of crazy people. Okay, we got 4 spaces left.
Cliff, I didn't hear a Bob's Burgers.
Oh,
I was waiting to see if you would say that. You were the only one that had it on our
I didn't even
currently
think of that.
watching list.
2011, so it's been around the whole decade.
It's a great show. It never lets me down.
It's a consistent
I
laugh.
tried watching it a couple times, and I'm just like, can't get into it.
It's a family favorite in my house. Wonderful voice cast, unique.
Archer was good for a while too.
I never watched Archer.
It became repetitive, but it had good things.
About Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Kimmy Schmidt from 2015 to 2019. I was late to that game too.
I tried watching that after
really
we did the theme song. I watched maybe like 8 or 9 episodes.
I like it. Like you were saying earlier, there, we don't have much comedy here, and there just wasn't nothing that really I latched on to.
Prestige TV just is not. It's like real high quality that I'm drawn to is not that.
And also 30 Rock wouldn't qualify if you're listening out there thinking
yeah.
that's better than Kimmy Schmidt. Probably is, but it premiered before 2010. You want some highfalutin comedy, Atlanta from FX.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that show.
I enjoy every episode, but I also am like confused by it, and I don't rewatch them.
Yeah,
so I don't think I could add it to my list, but I still tune in for everyone. And,
it's definitely something I will watch.
I get something out of it. Just finished up Silicon Valley on HBO.
You watched the whole thing.
Watched the whole thing.
So you could have watched the last 3 or 4 seasons, you could have watched one episode, and it's the same thing every time.
Oh, I disagree. I think it was
Every time, every episode, it is at the end randomly some Deus Ex Machina swoops in, solves it, and then there's a new problem.
But that's not really what I'm watching it for. I'm watching for the interaction between them and
got the best line of the decade. You brought piss to a fight.
The ending was strange. I'll give you that.
It's pretty good.
The ending was strange.
I liked the ending.
Yeah, it was fine.
Kumail was noticeably too buff.
Yeah, he was like, they put him in like big sweatshirts and stuff, but yeah, he was a little ripped.
Crazy built
in
the last season.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. I think it was better earlier on for sure. I watched the second season of Barry.
Oh man, yes, what a great show!
So dark.
So dark and
so
great.
Funny, yet so dark.
And the end of that first season is so good. Yeah, I really like that show too. There was a lot of good shows this decade. We are in trouble.
I'm not normally a binger. I like to take my times with things. But the next to last episode of season 2 to the last episode, where you see one character raise a gun to another one's head and it cuts to black, I hit next episode so fast.
Oh yeah,
I was like, "What is happening?" I had to see how that played out. It was wonderful.
Did you watch Barry?
Nope.
Wow, it's good. Bill Hader,
dark, very dark.
He shows how good
dark,
he is.
Dark,
he is good. And it's got
good and dark.
It's got Fonzie. Man.
And the only other two I had on my list, I knew were nowhere on anyone's list, but Adam Ruins Everything from True TV. Just little vignettes about how everything you know is probably wrong and we're being lied to. And I like learning facts about how everyone's trying to manipulate us. It's fun.
No Dr. Pimple Popper.
And Brockmire on IFC. That's the the baseball announcer. What's his name?
Yep.
Simpsons.
He's secretly buff.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got how many spots left?
4.
We got 4 spots.
That's what I was saying. We picked one.
Yep.
And then we could all just pick a show.
Go ahead, and I think Westworld goes on there.
So that's going. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rock, paper, scissors. Because I think, I mean, this is going to be a representative of all of us. So we don't all have to agree on every show, though. So we have, for the most part, what we have here. So we're going to rock, paper, scissors. And whoever wins has to pick first. And you pick the show you want on there. I would, let's not try to be fancy. If you want it on there, you better pick it. Because you get one shot. And then we're each going to pick one. That's going to round out our list. Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay. Cliff has to pick first.
All right.
Then Jordan, then me.
What's left? What's available?
So read them off there. What do you got in front of you?
Okay, here's what we got. Voltron, Big Little Lies, Master of None, Hill House, Fargo, Watchmen, New Girl, Mandalorian, Black Mirror, The Americans, Justified, and Walking Dead.
Oh my God.
That's quite a list. We had a good decade of TV. Yeah. I mean, it was
like 4
we've been saying,
four of my favorite shows are on.
We've been saying for the last few years, this is peak TV. We're spoiled. So, an embarrassment of riches in shows. Louis, I forgot. That's laying there too.
Okay. Watchmen, Mandalorian, Master of None, Voltron.
We won't question any choice. If it's been a year, whatever. God. If it's been, if it's your favorite, you just want it on there.
Jeez.
I mean, any of these, Voltron fits just as well as Fargo. We talk about these all basically.
That's what I mean. Equal. It doesn't matter. We've got a nice slate there to choose from.
Yeah, go ahead and. Oh man,
he wants so bad to pick Voltron, but he also wants to pick Mando.
That's one of the shows we talk about very in depth since the very beginning.
I really do love
that. Fits
I loved every year of it. But I'm staring at that Master of None as what's hanging me.
That was good.
It was so good.
It's there was only been 2 seasons.
Yeah, correct. And that's all there.
I think the second season he just goes to Italy and learns how to make pasta. It's just like what you wish you could do with your life. So I'm just gonna go take a sabbatical, and
Yeah.
it's a really good show.
We got the Mandalorian sitting there. Best show of the decade.
The thing is,
best
you
shows of the decade.
know that if you don't pick it, we're probably not going to pick it.
I know, that's the whole thing.
It's like, do you want
whichever one I
if you pick it
is off the
if
list.
you pick it, no question.
Go ahead and pick up Master of None.
Master of None over the Mandalorian and everything. Wow, look at him go. Master of None.
I haven't not watched. I need to go back and rewatch it. I haven't watched it for a while. I just loved it.
Last call on that.
Yeah,
because
go for it.
You don't get to change it after we pick.
Whatever. Go. Move on. Pick another one.
Okay, Jordan, your pick.
I think I know what you'll pick.
You do? I don't even know what I'll pick.
I have a feeling.
I hadn't even thought about it. I don't even want to think about it till you went.
Okay, New Girl, love it, but it doesn't fit us.
I'll
Same with
Voltron's out. Big Little Lies is out.
Walking Dead's out.
You never put Louis.
I can't pick
Walking Dead. You said no. Okay.
Can't pick Hill House.
Okay, I wouldn't pick it either.
I'd love to pick Mandalorian, but can't. You guys aren't feeling Justified, so that was kind of the beginning of this decade. So I'll cut Justified out.
Okay.
We've gone on to other things. So for me, it's down to Black Mirror, Fargo, or Watchmen. And all three of those are...
They are. They are.
But again, you guys aren't feeling the Black Mirror.
I love Black Mirror.
Not as much as me.
Okay. I got fought for that, but I do love it.
And as much as I adore Fargo, I feel like Watchmen almost fits Ka-Pow more. We are comic fans. We are HBO fans.
Okay.
We are peak TV fans. But how do I not pick Fargo?
You know it's gonna be laying there if you don't. They're all great picks. I literally like all those choices.
I can't think of a single episode of Fargo the way I can think of each episode of Watchmen. Even though I know it's very recent, but each episode was a whole thing unto itself.
Yeah.
So one season wonder, just under the wire. Give me Watchmen.
Wow. I love that pick. I don't know what to pick it. So it's down to me. I'm not taking Justified. I decided I was had to tell there, so I quit throwing cards away. I'm not taking Black Mirror because I feel more strongly about these three. This is a tough one for me. Fargo, I'm down to 3. Fargo, Mandalorian, and The Americans. All great. I love everything about all 3 of these shows. Wow. Well, I guess I'm going to take The Mandalorian out just because of the one season thing.
That one hurts.
I know. I was telling you should take it when you did because I didn't feel me doing it. I could. It would have been easier for me. I would have picked Watchmen over that. So I could see picking Watchmen for one season, but not The Mandalorian. Fargo or The Americans? Love them both. Sorry, I'm taking so long. It's a tough decision.
Well, I mean, it all hangs in the balance here.
It really does. It really does.
So important.
The listeners have been listening this long.
Mm-hmm.
At the edge of their seats.
I'm going to say I'm going to say The Americans. I feel like I just too excited to be able to get it on there. Okay, here's how it works. We have our 10 shows. I'm going to lay the list out here. I'm going to give you guys each a sheet. It says 1 to 10.
So was this more difficult than you thought?
Yes.
Yes, me too.
Absolutely. Here's what I thought. I'll tell you what my thought process was. I thought for sure on the list. Watchmen, Love, Better Call Saul, Game of Thrones, Riverdale, Westworld, which a lot of these are on there, but I thought they were just such sure things that we would be down to 3 before any time went past. But we wanted to do justice to all these other shows. We all wanted to make sure each of us knew we liked all these other shows.
And 10 years is a long time.
It is.
Yeah.
So anything that got mentioned
And there was a
here,
lot of shows I didn't realize were 2010 that got in there.
So just being mentioned is an honor for us.
Okay, so here's your paper. Or you
I
got
have
one.
one.
There's yours. And I've got one. Here's the list. It's laying there. You will just all... You put them in the order that you want.
Our preferred
secret
order.
ballot. Put it in. Do not think of us, please. Put your favorite shows in the order that you want them. Don't think of anyone else.
Can't read it.
I got mine, so you can.
Here, these are all the shows right here.
We're ready.
Cut out I even mentioned Brockmeyer because I still can't think of his name. So just pretend it doesn't exist.
Hank Azaria.
There you are.
That's it.
We still recording, you said? Yeah?
Yep.
All right, here we go. After the math has been done, we all voted separately what our order of the top 10 presented was, and this is our collective Ka-Pow top 10 shows of the decade.
I'm happy.
Teens.
I'm happy.
Happy with
whatever happens. I think we're pretty representative.
Yes, of us.
Of us as a trio.
Right. The number 10 show will be Master of None. That's good. 9, The Americans. 8, Stranger Things. 7, Last Week Tonight. 6, Watchmen. 5, Better Call Saul. 4, Riverdale. 3, Game of Thrones. 2, Westworld. And the number 1 show, I had a feeling this was what it was going to be, is the first show we put on our list. Love.
Wow.
That is so Ka-Pow.
Wow.
Let's see some other list have that on there.
Exactly.
Number 1.
But I loved every
We
minute.
all loved it.
I
We
loved
loved
every
it.
minute.
It's three perfect
like
seasons.
how many of these shows did all 3 of us watch and enjoy?
Right. That's why I like. This is our list. It makes me happy. So I'm happy with that list. I enjoyed the way we did it. We got to talk about all the shows we liked that decade and get them in there.
And it gives us a chance to play more theme songs for movies that don't have theme songs.
That's right.
That's right. They have like several albums. I'm wanting to listen to all those. Anyway, we did it. Probably took us forever. But
Yay. Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope some of your favorite shows are on there. If they weren't, let us know. Comment what we forgot. But remember the rules. It has to start in 2010 or later.
That's right.
Yep.
So if we forgot any of your favorites, it was probably because we thought it started earlier. We would have put your favorite on the list, but
it would have been number one.
We didn't realize. It was a clerical error. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com.
This last jam is dedicated to Mr. Eastwood and my special girl, Dobbsy. 1, 2, 3, 4. better than a grand piano. Deeper than the Grand Canyon. You're my Gran Torino. You're my Gran Torino. And that skeleton says, get off of my lawn. That skeleton says, get off of my lawn. Get off of my lawn.
This is the best part. Torino.